It's absolutely my pleasure to welcome you to our program this month. As you already have experienced, we're doing things a little differently this month. Kind of a background and part of what the students are doing and being involved with. Here at the college, we've listed out a series of values, and one of our new values, big values that we push very significantly is that of service. And so we do that in the classroom. We call that service learning. And these students are involved in that, and that's an opportunity to put some theory into principle, put it into action, and see how it works, and also apply what you learn back in the classroom, and that's what these students are doing. Just so you know, we also do what we call a day of service, and that's where we allow the students and faculty and staff to take part of a day and go out and work within the community. And I mention that because one of the people that helped us organize that is our main speaker today, Susie Welch. So she's been very active. She practiced what she preaches, so that's good. So our program today is called Spring into Action, Come Get Happy. And it is being presented by Susie Welch and her students from the Introduction to Social Work class at Jefferson College. Susie is a licensed clinical social worker and a full-time faculty member in the Department of Sociology and Social Work. She earned her bachelor's degree in social work from the University of Missouri and her master's degree in social work from St. Louis University. Throughout her 30 years of working in the field of social work, Susie's focus and practice has been on families. Past work experiences have encompassed all ages and stages of a very diverse and resilient family life, including child welfare, adoption, individual and family counseling, crisis intervention, grief and loss, and health care. As part of the Service Learning Project, Susie and her students have been researching how the social lives are connected to our health, mental health, and overall outlook. Today they, as you saw, worked with the table discussions to learn more about learn about your social selves, that's a tricky phrase, and help share information about ideas for increasing social connections, specifically as it relates to better health, wellness, and happiness. Students who are participating and assisting Susie today as part of the project include Olivia Barnett, Jessica Conway, Alyssa Cook, she's not here, she played hooky, Joel Hanwinkle, all right, Molly Jeans, she didn't make it either, a lot of hooky today, it's Friday, Riley Mitchell, there she is, Isabel McNabb, I should have checked this list more closely. Morgan Stepp. And how about Shirley Thomas? All right, very good. So please help me welcome Susie Welch and her social work students.
All right, well, thank you for the introductions. We'll move on from that. So when you guys were talking about your social activities, were there any common threads among your table? We can reflect about that. Olivia is helping us by tallying up what the popular activities were at each table, and we're going to come back to this at the end. Did anybody have a really unique activity they wanted to mention that wasn't on the cards? Four-wheeling? Okay. Any other four-wheelers? All right. Good. And we hope that in our conversations today that maybe hearing what others are doing will make you consider other things you haven't as well. So we'll move toward a little more connection discussion. So regardless of age, good relationships with family, friends, pets, neighbors are all really vital to our happiness. We know that from the time we're little in kindergarten, right? That we make our first friends in kindergarten and preschool. So those are also vital to not only our social emotional health, but lots of connections in studies have shown that it benefits our physical health as well. And it's also essential to combat feelings of isolation. We don't want to feel like we're alone. Maintaining a social life isn't just good fun, it's good for you. That's straight from AARP. They did a study, and this one, I don't know everybody's age in the room, but this one kind of surprised me. Now I'm telling my friends about this. AARP found that loneliness goes down as people get older. In a survey they did, people in their 40s and 50s, I'm in that category, were more likely to be lonely than those over age 60, which was an interesting concept. And when we read more about it, they said that people over age 60 are better able to invest in their friendships, in their relationships, in the time that it takes to connect if they are willing and able to do that, right? So some of it takes effort on our part is what they're basically getting at. So Joel's going to talk a little bit about social activity and some categories of that.
Hello, folks. Today, we'll be talking about some active activities and passive activities that you can do for your social lives. And a lot of these activities actually help with the cognitive functions of your brain. So active activities like walking, gardening, dancing, things like that are really good physical activities that can help reduce the decline of your brain, so it can help reduce the chances of dementia or Alzheimer's, or even reduce the progression of things like that. Passive activities would be like playing chess or reading. Reading, love reading. Those are all kinds of different activities that can really help with not only with your, reducing reducing the cognitive decline, and also is just very good for building connections with people. A lot of these activities can be done in groups. Some of us are going to come up here and talk about the different things the different categories of active and passive that we're doing today. So, hand this off.
Mine's about travel. Most people have traveled or at least want to. It promotes exploration, relaxation. We found that a lot of places that are available for travel now are helping more to be accessible for medical or diets or anything that anyone would need. And it makes it easier to go to those places. There's travel insurance that people are looking more into because you don't want to get to a trip and then just figure out you can't go and then you can't get the money back. A lot of times, stuff that keeps people from traveling is work, health, or money. Yeah, road trips are cheaper than flying, obviously, and cruises. But AARP reported that baby boomers plan to spend $6,600 on travel. That seems like a lot. Can I get a show of hands of people that plan to travel this year?
Are you going to travel this year?
Yeah, that's. They expect 4 to 5 leisure trips each year. That sounds excessive to me, but I don't get to do that very often. Has anyone ever done a skip generation where you take your grandkids and not your children on a trip? Sounds fun. These are more common, apparently, to take your grandkids and not your regular kids. And if you do plan a trip, they say that more than 15% plan a trip almost a year in advance before they take a trip. And there is 2 companies that we found for people that have medical problems. Dialysis at Sea helps to where you can go on the cruise and they have all the medical necessities that you need while you're on the cruise. And they have like medical doctors, nurses, everything you need. It was so easy to find the information. And the Golden Frontiers had a lot of information about anything and any issues that may come from, and I think Ms. Welsh had information brochures on those. And then the next one was outings. So I'll pass it on to Morgan.
Okay. Who likes to do outdoor activities in here? Everybody? I'm more of an indoor person. I'd rather sit on the couch and watch TV. But there's fishing, hiking, and hunting. Does anyone like to go fishing? Yeah, that's so popular. Okay. Personal benefits include increased socialization, improved self-esteem, and better health. Would you guys agree with that? Yep. Important for prevention of chronic disease and cautions, assist in weight loss and prevention of weight gain, and then the tree-lined streets and grassy parks. You guys like to go to the park? Yep. Yep. Okay, the next one. Getting active. Staying in control of your active level, which will make you happy. Zumba, going to work out early in the morning, going on a walk, walking the dog. Attended the 41st annual St. Louis Senior Aerobics Memorial Day weekend, May 21st to the 26th, 2020. And then if you guys are interested in that, there's a number and a name on the board. Okay, the next one.
One of the things about fishing and other outdoor activities, we're finding more and more parks in the state of Missouri and outside of Missouri that have paved trails or paved areas where you can fish even if you're not somebody who can go on rugged terrain, or let's say you're uneasy about the balance for some reason. So that just makes it more and more accessible. If you go on the websites or call, they can give you information even about, if they have 14 lakes, which are the ones that are paved right up into the place that you want to go. So that's really helpful. So dance is really, do we have any dancers? Anybody who is a dancer now or used to, right? All right, good. What a great social activity that is, right? From the time we're in middle school or high school, we're already going to dances. It's a physical exercise, and any physical exercise has an anti-aging effect, and the studies have found that dancing most especially has that effect. We feel young when we're dancing, don't we? So jazz, square dancing, line dancing, even belly dancing. I'm not exaggerating. Even in St. Louis, Missouri, there are belly dancing clubs regardless of your age. If you're doing that for fitness or a core workout, jump right in. It improves mobility. It improves our functioning. Again, reduces that cognitive impairment. It keeps us sharp. And again, that social activity we can't say enough about, connecting with others. And I would say that's even in the planning phases. Where are you going? Who else is going? And things like that. So it broadens our horizons to try new things like that. Gardening is another. That can take on a lot of different meaning. Some people, anybody still have land that they're farming or working, tractors and things like that? No? Sometimes we do? Yep. Okay, good job. So that all the way up to and including, my shamrock plant lost all of its leaves but one, and I thought, what a terrible time of year for this to happen. So I read up on it and did what I needed to do, and now, in plenty of time for St. Patrick's Day, it's got all of its leaves again, right? Yay. What? Made sure it had sun and water and everything, glued it back on. That's good. So gardening clubs, again, those can be a high level of activity or moderate, depending on what your needs are, and we can change that over time. If we need to continue activities but modify them a little bit, it's far better than stopping them altogether. So anytime, whether it's my little shamrock plant in my kitchen or working outdoors with 2 gardens that we have on either side of the house, you have to have commitment for your garden or your plants to be successful. That's another advantage to our social and our cognitive skills. Here at the college, we have master gardeners. That's through University of Missouri Extension. Do we have any of our gardeners here? All right, thank you. They keep things looking gorgeous here. So we've got, I'm sorry? And a garden club. All right, great. So we've got information about that as well. You can go to classes where you get the credentials of master gardener and take it to the next level. So all of those things are things that we can do to stay involved and active. So next we're going to talk about pets. Riley's going to take that topic for us.
Hi guys. Okay, to start off, how many of you guys have pets at home? It can be a fish, it can be a hamster, flying squirrel, dog. That's a lot of you guys. Awesome. Well, just to let you guys know, pets offer you comfort, as you guys who are pet owners can tell. They do offer comfort, and this releases a chemical in our brains called serotonin and dopamine, which is our happy chemical, or relaxation or calm chemical. So, even a fish, even if you guys have fish, a betta fish, goldfish, a fish you kept for 20 years. Any fish, those just looking at the fish or going to aquariums, the St. Louis Aquarium just opened. If you guys take a trip out there, it's supposed to release those chemicals in your brain that actually calm you and relax you as well. So even looking at fish for or having a pet fish could actually reduce stress, anxiety, and depression in anyone. So let's see. If you have a pet like a dog or cat, do you guys have dogs or cats? Dogs. So whoever has dogs and cats or any animal that's physically active, you know they're a lot to take care of. You're always running with them. You probably take them on walks. You feed them. You're on a scheduled routine. So this actually improves your cardiovascular and physical health. So taking care of them, walking after them. They're probably on a set schedule for food. That actually improves your cardiovascular health. There's other physical effects. It reduces anxiety, depression, gives you a sense of security at home, and it helps you stay connected with your friends, families, communities. I don't know where you guys are actually from, but Hillsborough is a small community. So I walk my dog in Raintree, and I see a whole bunch of dog owners. We make friends. I have a whole bunch of neighbors who have dogs, so I stay in touch with them constantly. I know you guys have pets too, and you guys live there. So it's a great way to stay connected with your friends, to meet new people, actually. I've met a lot of new people in my experience of even walking my 2 dogs. They're a hassle. They're a German Shepherd and Rottweiler. They're a hassle to take care of, but I meet other people in my neighborhood, and I actually enjoy it. So, and it gives you a sense of security in your house, even physically and emotionally. So if you have a dog, a cat, it's always someone there with you. Huh? Did someone say something? Want to add something? Oh, well, if you guys have pets, dog, even a fish, goldfish, hamster, squirrel, it gives you a sense of security in your house. Anything. My aunt has squirrels. Like, she loves it. She raises squirrels. And it gives her someone to talk to, comfort, take care of. Like, she loves it. And just so you guys know, fewer doctor visits. How many of you guys do not like going to the doctor? I do not like going to the doctor as well. Exactly. Actually, people over the age of 65, 30% of them are less likely to go to the doctor visits if they have a comfort pet, animal, anywhere in their actual presence or in their house. So they have 30% fewer doctor visits because of the actual serotonin and dopamine that goes on and produces physical and emotional health. So if you're looking for fewer doctor visits, I suggest getting a pet. They are awesome. I love them. Even a goldfish. They're $5 at Walmart. So next, we have relationships. Now I'm going to hand this off to Morgan.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
All right, so relationships. So kind of a hard topic to talk about, but online dating offers opportunities for some to build new relationships. And it's not even about finding the love of your life, but you can find companionship. So there are new relationships. Maybe you can find some old relationships that you lost touch with. The research shows that relationships continually was strongly associated with fewer negative and emotional responses and more positive emotional responses. So bonds of love can be strengthened even in crisis. So even if you have a group of people that you go to, you can even bring more people together. So if you have you have a community of dog walkers, you can, get to know people that way as well. So, Facebook. Yes, Facebook. I don't know if anybody does Facebook here, but that's a great way to find groups of people that you can even talk to, even if you don't want to meet them face to face. But someone you can talk to every day. So, midlife and older adults who identify as LGBTQ are more likely to be lonely compared to those who do not. And that is on AARP.
So family connections are very important to keep in touch with your family, hang out with your grandkids. Children whose grandparents are involved in their upbeginning report greater levels of well-being. And then studies show that grandparents who help babysit can live longer. So if anyone wants to watch, take in a grandkid.
Take care of those babies. Yes.
Technology is the next one.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Technology, okay? A lot of us, including myself, is old school. I don't understand the new technology. I have a cell phone, I can text, and I can call, and I can FaceTime with my loved ones. That's the extent of things, okay? When I try to venture out, I get hacked. So now I'm very cautious, I'm very leery of all things. Where can you go to understand you know, like, somebody will grab your phone and they'll say, you do this, 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 and then they walk away. And I'm still in the same boat. How do we get past all of this?
So that's a really good question, and some of the resources the librarians brought today actually speak to that, learning a little bit more about safety and security when you're doing social networking or on the internet. But that's also something from a community perspective that, you know, I know the college has had some events in the past that are specifically for seniors. Community centers have information days where you can just learn. My mom, who's going to be 79, did that early on and wanted to find out more. Like, she wanted to use that tool because her 5 kids and family members were all communicating that way. Now, believe it or not, she does online banking. So she's like, I never thought I'd get to this point where I trust that to that level, but she is doing it because she's gone through training and things like that. So if it's something that you believe you might venture into, sometimes we're nervous about something, so we refrain from doing it. You know, that's common our whole lives, right? But yes. So one of the things that we thought was really important, social media use among midlife and older adults has tripled since 2010. I was here talking about the golden years and resources 2 years back. Was anybody here at that time? And we sort of had a little conversation about that as well, right? And I had a whole list of resources that were links, and a couple people stopped me afterwards and said, please don't bring links. That was not as helpful. So today we made paper copies, even though we know that statistics show that folks are getting increasingly savvy with technology. So compared to the last time AARP did a study, which wasn't that long ago, 13% of seniors were using Facebook and Instagram and FaceTiming. Now it's up to 42%. Families are doing it. It's a common way to connect. And it may be something that the college and the library would be able to. Yes.
On Facebook, social media, iPads, iPhones, and you can bring them back next month.
Yeah, so anything you check out today is due at the next speaker series, so you've got it for a month. I know in the Leader and other community journals and things, they have a whole calendar, pages of information of what's up and coming, and a lot of the county libraries as well as local libraries do a lot of tech savvy, you know, how to be smart and safe. We even had something yesterday, you know, the full-time staff, we had a whole cybersecurity in service because we have to stay current and have to know so the college doesn't get hacked or so we don't get hacked personally. So it's a real concern, but there are ways to kind of arm yourself so that hopefully that doesn't continue to happen. So again, the importance of safety, security, and all forms of social media should not be underestimated. And the librarian resources are available to you guys for more information as well. Volunteer. So lots of opportunities for low or high level commitment, whether it's rocking babies in the NICU or helping foster kids. We have a lot of foster kids in Jefferson County. Our number is very high, and the needs are great, whether it's making blankets for the holiday party or sorting shoes at Foster Care Fund. They always need people to kind of go through. So all these different activities, working in food pantries, animal shelters, reading in schools, staying involved overall is really the key. I think faith community was part of everybody's information on the tables too, like what are you doing and how are you staying involved? So one of the things, just mindful of time, in a study by professors at Brigham Young, it was determined that prolonged social isolation is as harmful to health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Really? Mm-hmm. So says Brigham Young, yeah. There's a whole study, and if anybody wants the link, we will provide that for you guys. So again, going back to what we said at the start, maintaining a social life isn't just good fun, it is good for you. So we wanted to find out again, what have people been doing, and if Olivia and Jessica are ready, we can kind of summarize a little bit. We thought we'd summarize some of the results from when you guys were having lunch.
So, after collecting your guys' cards, we realized that there are a lot of people who are doing very active activities like hiking and walking. We have a lot of bird watching, which is really cool. A lot of people are still, going out with their friends to lunch and doing community events. We have alumni events that people are still going to. We have people who are still gambling and going to casinos, which is really fun. I love that. Lots of gardeners. And so many people who are cooking and baking still. Please bake for me. I love sweets. I want to try all of your family recipes that you have passed down. We have a lot of people who are reading, quilting and knitting, doing other crafts, which is super fun. I work at a craft store, so I'm always want to know.
Uh-oh.
Yes, yeah. We still have people who are dancing, which that's great for your health, and we love that. And a lot of church goers, people who are worshiping, people who are doing Bible studies, going to churches, that's a good majority of you guys. I had that in almost all of my categories, that all of you were doing that. So really, you guys are doing great. We love learning that you guys are still going out and doing all of your stuff that you love to do, even when you were younger, It helps us feel better for our future, that knowing that we're not just going to be sitting around being sad, that we have you guys to look up to know that we can do what you guys are doing. So we thank you for that.
So one of the things that we wanted to encourage you, if there's something that was showing up on the table cards that you never considered, give it some thought. If you heard from some of your table mates things they were doing and you thought, I don't know about that, research it a little, give it a little thought, and maybe think of an activity or a social event that you haven't participated in before and you might in the future. So lastly, we wanted to thank you for allowing us to talk today. Whether you meant to or not, you're helping us celebrate Social Work Month, which is the month of March. So we're very grateful for that. And we wanted to see if we have time, Dr. Kaminsky, if there are any questions or comments.
Card games or bingo or something.
We had a lot of card games and bingo on there. We had poker, lots of fun stuff. There were definitely chess, and we had a few online games, which is cool. People were playing games on the computer, which is fun.
And that's something too, it keeps your mental, faculties engaged, but if there's a time and you can't go and play cards with your friends for a little bit because something's going on, you can supplement that or replace it a little bit with something online. And those are relatively easy to do, and games can be downloaded that you're not necessarily playing it through the internet as well. So.
Is there a phone number or place where we can find out where they get those?
So yes, I had, as long as we have copies left, I summarized the phone numbers and information of the senior centers that are in and around Jefferson County, and some of them even have card clubs and card groups. If we ran out of those, I'm glad to send that or make more copies before we go, but that's one place to get started. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jefferson County Speaker Series is a good one.
Oh. And I told my students before we started, we're sort of preaching to the choir. You're here having lunch with friends. You're active. You got out. You got it scheduled. Had it on your calendar, and that's wonderful. Like you said, I'm glad that you said that. Yes.
This gentleman right there has been needing to talk to you.
Oh, yes.
Actually, we're doing cyber seniors at the college. It's working with high school students and technology or phones, and we've done 10 sessions, and it's one-on-one. And I had no contacts on my phone. Still had them on my old phone because I didn't know how to put it in there. Now I got video, I got pictures on there, I got all my contacts on there. No, actually, it's a session through Jefferson Franklin Community Partnership, and it's a pilot program, and they're going to start doing it with different high schools. So you may see it in the journal.
Okay. And at the high school, at the leader?
Yeah, in the leader.
Okay.
And they can teach you so much information instead of just reading off of it. The governor's wife was here yesterday, and she was viewing the pilot program to be able to have more of those in the state. It was so cool.
So they don't take your phone and you do this?
No.
And you guys see what they're doing? That's what my daughter does to me.
So you didn't learn anything. You just, it's finished, but you can't update it, right? Yeah. Yeah.
That's how spooky it is for us, because we feel like we're dinosaurs and we're running out of time.
So we have a pretty broad dispersion in our classes of ages, up to and including me, and I can say the technology revolution has really gained some headway very quickly. So I can tell you, I graduated in 1985 from high school, didn't have one computer class in my life that was a formal one, so anything that I've learned has been on-the-job training or through sessions that I've come up with. So don't feel alone in it.
It's on-the-job training, and when you get these phones, there is no instruction booklet. They say go to Google or.
Right, right. And it's ever changing. So that's the value. James, thanks for telling us about that, because if it's a pilot program, it will likely get larger, and then we'll have more opportunities for that. Lisa, did you want to share a comment?
I'm going to grab the book.
Good, okay. Were there any other comments or questions? Yes, Ms. Kaminsky?
It's great to see all the activities and make you think of other things to be engaged in, but some of you younger people, we have a lot of ups and downs in life. And cultivating those friendships and the people who knew you back when for those times is so important, because these are fun activities and you'll continue to do those girls' weekends or whatever. But when you have a parent who's sick or pass away.
Absolutely agreed, yes. Thank you. Yes.
My friends travel a lot, and I find myself friendless because I just have a few good friends. Anyway, I went to water aerobics at the Y for exercise, and I made a bunch of new friends, so I have a...
Right. Great, yeah.
And I want some new friends. I do card crafting. That is so relaxing. I love to cut and paste. Still at school.
My goal is to join a quilting circle, but I've got a couple decades before I'm there yet when I retire, but I love sewing, so that's I got to visit the quilters one day to pick something up, and I was like, oh, this is it. So thank you all for the attention again, and we really appreciate it today. Thanks, you guys.